So we're talking about hiring nannies. This is my wife and I hired a nanny recently, and this is kind of a process that's kind of tough because you're trusting people with your kids. So, talk to us about how parents should go about this, about finding a nanny to care for their children. What kind of steps should they be taking?
Yeah, I call it hiring successfully, and you've got to go through a process that works for you and your family, but I think there are some standard steps that really are important to help guarantee success. And I think the first one is that you really should have a clear idea of what you're looking for. Sit down, be honest with yourself, and write down your needs and your expectations, from the duties that you're looking for to a daily work schedule, to even what's important in values and discipline. And then second, sit down and do a high-level budget. What really works within your budget, and include those financial items like legal pay, benefits, paid time off that you may be able to help your nanny with. And then once you've interviewed and found the perfect caregiver, a critical step that often gets skipped is to develop a simple employment agreement. Write it down. It treats your new relationship professionally, and it clearly defines the responsibilities, the benefits, the payroll, and gets everybody on the same page and off on the right foot.
Well, does this transition you into some sort of like household employer once you make this hire?
It exactly does. And, when you're hiring someone to work in your home, if you've just gone through hiring a nanny, it's first and foremost an emotional process. But according to the law, she is your employee. And I will note she's not an independent contractor. Underneath law, household workers are employees of the family that they work for. And what does that mean? So when you hire someone to work in your home and you pay them more than $1,800 in a year, which isn't much, the IRS classifies you as a household employer. And this means that you are required to withhold her payroll taxes, to pay a small amount of employer taxes over and above wages, and to administer the tax reporting and the payment process. But being legal does entitle families to significant tax breaks that they often don't know about. And in today's day and age, with the growth of the care industry, there are services to take the work and the worry off your shoulders. A service like Care.com HomePay is going to take care of your payroll and your tax filings and other household requirements, and help you with tax breaks and guide you through the management from a financial and legal point of view while you're in this very busy time in your life.
Well, you mentioned obviously these taxes. So exactly what would someone owe? And you also mentioned tax breaks. So what do you get back as an employer in that regard as well?
So let's tackle what the taxes are first, and then we'll end on the positive note on the tax breaks. So with the taxes, the family has taxes and the nanny has taxes. So on the family side, a family is going to pay approximately 10% over and above their nanny's wages in employer taxes. You're going to match your Social Security and Medicare and pay federal and state unemployment taxes. So there's an extra expense right there. On the nanny side, she's going to have employment taxes withheld from her paycheck. Social Security and Medicare, she contributes the other half, plus federal and state income taxes. And her taxes are going to vary based on her wages and her marital status, but in general, about 18 to 20% is a good back-of-the-envelope amount that's going to come out of the caregiver's paycheck. So there's kind of a rough estimate on what the taxes look like. But let's talk about the tax breaks. So when a family does pay legally, they have significant tax breaks, and they have two available to them. The first is called the dependent care account. It's offered through the family's employer, much like a health spending account in the benefits package. And a family can set aside $5,000 of their own income tax-free to use towards the cost of child care. And it typically provides a tax break of about $2,000 a year, really eliminating that idea that it is really expensive to be legal. There's a second tax break I should mention. It's called the Child Independent Care Tax Credit, big long name. And families who do not have access to the dependent care account, if by chance their company doesn't offer it, which is atypical, they'll take this tax credit at the end of the year on their income tax return. and they'll get a credit of $600 if they have one child, or $1,200 if they have two or more children. So clearly, the dependent care account is a much better tax break.
And I guess this helps the caregivers as well, because you're kind of taking this tax situation away from them having to deal with it as much as you dealing with yourself, right?
Absolutely. And even more importantly than that, when you're paying your caregiver legally, it really is the backbone of treating her professionally, and she's the real winner. She receives retirement benefits through Social Security and Medicare. She has unemployment benefits available if she goes between jobs. And most importantly, when she's paid on the table, she can come out of the shadows and build that credit history that's critical for functioning financially, applying for a car loan, a student loan, a home loan, health insurance. She's the real winner.
Well, you might not know the answer to this, but is this the same for a maid or for a yard man or something like that? I mean, these all apply across the board for these types of kind of household employees?
Yes, I do know the answer. Actually, anyone who works in your home, nanny, elder care provider, housekeeper, and you pay them more than $1,800, they are your employee, and you are subject to this process that we've been discussing.
Gotcha. Well, tell us where we can go for more information. This is really eye-opening.
For more information, please visit us at care.com/homepay. We are very content-rich. We have a wealth of education to help answer your questions, and we also have a team of consultants who will speak to you live to guide and answer any questions that you may have.
Wonderful. Stephanie, thanks so much for this information.
Thanks for having me.
We'll talk to you soon.